Being a CEO of a startup is dynamic. Every day is different. And at the end of the day, your job is to make sure that you've got the right team, everyone's pointed in the right direction, the right vision and mission, and that you're properly fueled. In other words, you have the funding to scale the business. Yeah, the vision of the company is actually very simple. It's to make cyber attacks irrelevant. That's a very powerful statement. To make them irrelevant is to make them weaker than they are today. And in order to do that, we needed to invent and create and patent a new type of protection. In order to really lead a company that's dynamic and growing quick and small and a startup, you've got to touch it and feel it every day. So I work very closely with the leadership team, but also with the field team and with the development team. And I'm very involved in watching what we're doing on a day-to-day basis on an innovation point of view. Because in cybersecurity, if you really look at it, there hasn't really been a lot of innovation over the last 20 years. And so we came at it a little bit like outsiders coming into cybersecurity from other industries and of course from cybersecurity. And we said, let's bring a new approach. Well, DPP is Deterministic Protection Platform. That's just what we call what we do. Unfortunately, we couldn't grab a category that existed. You look at endpoint protection or threat hunting or the new evolution of EDR, which is called XDR, and none of them really fit the bill. So we had to come up with something new. Who wants a new acronym? No one. We didn't want to do it. But we had to come up with something that the industry would see as different because what we're doing is radically different. It's a challenging job. You know, the average chief security officer is only in their job for 2 to 3 years, actually less than 2 years before they're rotating on average to a new place. So a lot of instability and a lot of challenges. As you know, there's a labor shortage. And so what needs to happen is we got to give the chief security officers a stronger foundation of protection, and we have to automate the protection so they don't need to hire as many people. And so these are two things that we've brought to the market. It's a central part of our go-to-market. We cannot go to market and sell directly over time. As we scale, we have to scale through partners, both managed security and managed service providers. Because if you look at it from the security leader's point of view, they can't work with so many different companies. They have to centralize the solutions that they work with. And so we have to fit into the overall ecosystem. Well, one thing I'll say is this is a real shift in security away from analytical and AI, artificial intelligence-based approaches, to what we call determinism, which is fully understanding the software that we're protecting using a mapping technology. So it's a real shift in thinking and it's a shift in capability. We're going to build on that. We're going to go deeper in that capability set, and we're going to go broader across more surface area. And that's how we'll develop it forward. I'd say 2 years ago, when we were first coming to market, it was hard. Now that we're starting to gain some traction, we have use cases, we have different verticals that are taking our product in, like the government, financial, and healthcare. We're able to point to those things. And so the value-added distributors, the resellers, they're understanding it now. And also, the partner community is hungry for something new that's going to provide more value to their customers. And so I think we're in a great time now. So I think the first thing is we're building a long-term company, and we're very focused operationally on building a quality product and serving our customers. The investor is a very necessary partner in that growth strategy, and we work very closely with our investors. When we think about the investor, we are really appealing to the investor in two ways. One, cybersecurity is a very large market, but what's really most appealing to the investors in our company is that we're doing something that's disruptive, that's actually changing the game, that's shifting the landscape where it needs to go. And as you know, we raised $100 million in our growth financing mid last year. Right now, we're heads down. We're scaling the business. We've built a go-to-market team, and we're not looking for financing at the moment. We're really focused on building the business and refining the product and making our sales motion more efficient. Next year, probably later this year, early next year, is when we'll look at financing. And what's interesting about that is, given what we're doing is so disruptive and unique, we're getting a lot of interest from strategic partners that want to invest. We want to work with partners, and we want to bring those partners in to understand what we do, and we want to take our time. So our approach to coming into the market is to come in humbly rather than to come in technocratically. And so we found that we've been very well received. I'd say that it's now very well known that outside of the biological pandemic, cybersecurity is a digital pandemic. And it is a top 3, top 5 issue in the world, along with climate change and other major global issues. And so I guess you posed it as, is it making it easier? It's making our job more important, is the way I would frame it.